Hey there, it's Richard Matharoo. It's Thursday, that means Free Coaching Thursday. I've got a whole bunch of questions for you, including, does resourcefulness or education matter the most when building an online business? How do you handle having more money if you're used to living in poverty or having a lack of money? I've got a whole bunch of other questions too. I know they're going to help you in your business. I'll be right back with my direct, honest and experienced answers. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. Let's just dive straight into it. The question number one that I received is, does resourcefulness trump education and skill when you're building an online business? The answer is neither of those things matter if you're not taking action. I've seen people who are very educated and not very resourceful do really well in business. I've seen people who are extremely resourceful and have no education do well in business. Sliding scale. What tied those people together who created success is an approach that I actually taught them, which is a scientific approach. I said, listen, what you want to do is have outcomes in your business. These are the outcomes that you're focusing your actions on. Every 7 days, you take a look. What worked? Do more of it. What didn't work? Do less of it or drop it. Ask people why they bought from you. Ask people why they didn't buy from you. Ask people how they found out about you. Where are you drawing your audience from? If you just do those few things every single week and then act accordingly for the corresponding 7 days, you will start to find that your business grows and grows and grows. So you can be extremely resourceful, but if you don't apply that resourcefulness, it doesn't count for nothing. You can have an amazing amount of skill and education, but if you don't apply it and you don't learn from those lessons that you've learned, it doesn't really matter. Now, if I was to talk about specific education and skill in an online business, I'd say the smart thing to do is to identify where you are weak and then go buy courses, products, training to kind of bridge that gap, to kind of fix that weak link. You may be shy on video, but you know you should really be making YouTube videos. So go get a course on YouTube videos, right? Go look at how you can start to do better on YouTube. Start to get adequate and then move on to another skill. Your next one, you may say, man, I'm just not organized enough. Well, start to get a course that teaches you strategy, planning, organization, a book, a course, whatever, and then implement that. So bit by bit, you're moving your skill up. That for me is a combination of resourcefulness and education. You're being resourceful at the approach, right? Identifying where your needs are, filling those needs, using the resources available. And it's also education and skill. Both of them matter, but they don't matter. They pale into insignificance unless you're taking that consistent, accountable action and reviewing it on a weekly basis and feeding that feedback back that's a mouthful, to improve your approach, okay? Second question, I hope that's helped you. So the second question, okay? This is one I can personally relate to for definite. How do you get used to having more money when you've lived in poverty your whole life? Now, I lived in poverty, but my poverty is not the same as another person's poverty, right? It's subjective. I see people nowadays still in this day and age starving to death in countries where they haven't got enough food, there's war, there's famine. It's awful. By no means am I saying, and I want to make sure with the use of the word poverty, I was anywhere near that, because I never have been. Okay, that's an awful situation that I wouldn't insult by saying my poverty was the same. But we had to hide from people banging on our door asking for money. I had to go to get these little coupons to get my meals at school. I was always in the poor kids line to get the free kind of PE kit and uniform that was different to everybody else's. It's a little bit rough. Kids can be cruel, right? And I always vowed when I got older I'd be control of my money, and I did. I built a 6-figure business, and I continued to earn more money than I ever thought imaginable. I made 2 mistakes because of my previous lack of money that I don't want you to repeat. That's my advice to handling having more money. Number 1, I was fearful. Like, I remember the first time we did a webinar and I made 60 grand with a 1-hour webinar. It blew my mind. I'd never made 60 grand in a year at that point. I make 60 grand in 1 hour. I was like, how is that even possible? Something's going to go wrong. So this is going to be a one-off. I better make good use of that money. Like, it's all going to go away. And looking back, I'm like, why would I presume that? Because I never had money growing up. What I should have done, and I missed so many opportunities, was take a look at that process and gone, let's do it again. How can we create another webinar? How can we follow the process through again? How can we make another 60, 80 or 100 grand? And thankfully I've done that since then. But you know, at the time I spent so much longer suffering because I never paid attention to those lessons, because I was fearful of losing it all, because I thought that was the default in my life. The default is having no money. So this isn't something to be comfortable with. I should have aligned myself with that level of comfort and expected that of myself, and then more opportunities would have opened up. Second of all, plan to have more money. What would, if I gave you if I gave you that 60 grand right now, what would you do with it? And then when you've answered that question, think to yourself, is that smart for the long-term game? Is that smart? Like, I remember when I used to get money and I'd be like, oh, well, I've got this money, I'll buy a car. I guess I'll go buy this. I guess I'll go loads of meals out, loads of this, loads of that, loads of the other. I never really used it for anything that was serving my business. What I would suggest that you do when you're earning money, especially as a business owner, is you want to reinvest a portion into your skills and education. Everywhere you go, there you are. If you become more organized, then your business is going to benefit. If you buy a course that teaches you how to generate leads, then more leads, more customers, more money in your business, right? Look at, are you investing in assets? Do you have something that's going to appreciate in value? Are you paying down debts? Are you creating more debts with the stuff that you're buying? Are you playing the long game with the money that you're going to get? Because once you start to kind of track the money that you're earning and you have a use for it, it becomes a whole much more fun game to play. I can't wait to hit this target because then I'm going to do this, this, and this with it. I can't wait to hit that because I'm going to do, you know, all these kind of things. It just makes sense to do this. I have a plan so that you can actually lend itself to being organized and dealing with that money better. Okay, let me answer one more question. Okay, here's a good one. Can people be brainwashed by multi-level marketing? Define brainwash. I would say the definition of brainwashing is where you're no longer thinking for yourself, right? You just accept what people are telling you, regardless of whether it makes sense for you or not, and that's the way it is, and you're not open to anything else. That's my definition of brainwashed, okay? Yes, people can get brainwashed in anything, and it can happen in a good way or it can happen in a bad way. Okay, in a good way, I've seen people be brainwashed in good ways in network marketing where they've got around a whole group of people who for the very first time in their life are trying to help them do better. There's a lot of education in network marketing. I've been to events and met some great people who've really opened my eyes to different aspects of how I could develop myself personally, my language, my habits, my health, my wellness, all different types of things, right? Education on being more confident in myself, all these kind of things, right? And these are great skills inside or outside of network marketing or multi-level marketing. So I was brainwashed definitely into believing a better version of myself, adopting new habits and setting my standards accordingly. That's a positive thing. Okay, that's a positive thing. Instead of using my own voice, which was, oh man, this is all going to go wrong. I can't do this. Someone like me doesn't get this success. Instead, I was like, well, no, these people believe in me. These people say it's possible. So no, I'm going to go focus on that. That's a good way to be brainwashed. In a negative way is I see a lot of network marketers accepting and not questioning the way in which they build a network marketing business. You can create an amazing life inside of multi-level marketing, like you can in any business, right? If you do it well, it works. But the problem I see is, in our day and age, network marketing hasn't really moved on with the times. Like knocking on doors, prospecting people within 3 feet of you, just like sending a million messages on social media. You don't have to just do that stuff anymore. You don't have to do that stuff at all. There's many ways you can build a network marketing business and have people come to you. You can build ways that you can build a brand, ways that you can inject security, multi-levels of pay from different areas. There's just so much now that you can do that can simplify and structure you towards success in a far quicker way. In fact, if you go to richardmatharoo.com/webinar, you'll see the way that I sponsored over 700 people without really speaking to many of them. So there's different education available. A lot of network marketing companies aren't teaching that stuff. It's like they're afraid for you to be successful in anything other than their team, their downline, right? Don't distract them. Now, I believe that what should be done is what's best for you. That's why I make these videos. That's why I do everything that I do. I want to share what works. I turn my life around. I want you to do the same. So I'll give you the best advice, whether that's in network marketing, outside of network marketing, whatever business advice is best for you to have the freedom financially and within your time to become the version of yourself you want to be. I'll give you that advice because what's best for my customer, what's best for you is what's best for me. That has to be the way it is from an ethical standpoint for me. That's just the way that it is. So my advice is, will you maybe have to wait longer to build a network marketing team if you build a brand? I don't actually think so. Maybe, but I don't think so, because I think the more eyes you get on you, the more of an audience you build, the more interest in you and what you're doing, that then siphons into your network marketing business. So I believe that when I teach my team and I teach other people inside of home business, hey, build your own brand, do this, this, and this, and you'll get more attention on you. You'll become a more attractive character. Hey, I believe you should start a YouTube channel and a podcast. Why? Because it's another avenue of income for you, and it points more people towards your network marketing business. There's like 10 or 11 different things that I suggest that you do that may not be pure network marketing, but it's going to allow you to earn money quicker. It's going to serve your network marketing team, and it's what's right for you. I teach those on that webinar. I don't believe a lot of network, in fact, I know a lot of network marketers, uplines, and a lot of network marketing companies aren't teaching that stuff. Make a list. Go to the list. When you finish with the list, prospect anybody within 3 feet of you. That's outdated. It only works for the minority. It only works for confident, skilled people. It only works for people that have a lot of time. It only works for people fast if they have an existing network that want to join them. What do you go after that? You go to that webinar. But not a lot of companies are referring those people. So yes, they can get brainwashed. Can be a positive thing. Can be a negative thing. I would always say have an ultimate vision of who you want to be, an ultimate vision of where you want to get to with your business, and then ask yourself, is every action that you're taking, is every advice that you'll be receiving from that network marketing company or anybody, is it in alignment with those goals? Is it lock and key? Okay, or are you rattling around? It's like, this is uncomfortable. Trust your gut on that for sure. So I think we've gone long enough. We're like, what, 11, 12 minutes? I think that's enough advice today. I hope you've gained something from that insight. Maybe someone else asks you these questions, you share this knowledge. Maybe you yourself have kind of thought, yeah, that's a great perspective should you ever face these questions. If you have a question for me, stick it in the comments. I will answer it on a future show, so you can get coaching from me in that manner. I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore. I just didn't want to do it, right? My business is set up so it's very leveraged. It's online. I like to spend time with my family. I like to spend time traveling. I like to spend time doing other stuff. One-on-one coaching isn't really for me anymore. When I did do one-on-one coaching, my last fee just to get me on Skype was 4 figures. It took you 4 figures just to get me on Skype. So you now have the opportunity for me to answer your question personally, and I'm not going to charge you a penny. So I would definitely take advantage of that if you have some kind of question that you think I really could do with some advice on that. As always, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. If you are looking to start or in a home business, go to richardmatharoo.com for plenty more advice and help from me. If you liked the video, like it. And if you wanted to see more of this type of video, then subscribe. I do about 3 or 4 a week. I'll catch you really soon. Have a fantastic day.